Good evening, I'm Stephanie Seacos. It's Friday, October 24th. This is CTV News at 6. Tonight, judge's decision. The man convicted of killing a Halifax battle rapper has been sentenced. Then back online, the deal between New Brunswick and Ontario to get Point Lepreau back up and running.
The rain this past week has helped a bit with our dry October, but more is still needed. An update on that coming up.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Stephanie Seacos.
Thanks for joining us. Todd Battis is off tonight. The man convicted in the death of Halifax rapper Pat Stay is ineligible for parole for 17 years. A judge made the ruling today after hearing arguments from lawyers. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis was there and has the story.
Pat Stay's widow walked into Halifax Supreme Court today to hear the sentencing decision for the man convicted of killing him back in 2022.
The judge carefully considered all of the factors, no doubt, and landed at 17 years. He's weighing various facts, various mitigating and aggravating situations and circumstances, and the nature of what happened to Mr. Stay.
Friends and family in the courtroom could be heard crying as the Crown recounted what happened the night Pat Stay was killed. The well-known battle rapper was stabbed once in the chest in a downtown Halifax bar before succumbing to his injuries on the sidewalk outside the Yacht Club social. Drake was arrested 6 days later.
He will start his parole ineligibility at the time that he was first put in custody. So in this case, he was put in custody for Pat Stay on September 10th, 2022.
Defense attorney Michael Lacey asked for 13 to 15 years, citing Drake's upbringing in a dysfunctional home where he witnessed alcohol and domestic abuse, as well as facing discrimination as an Indigenous man as contributing factors to his history of violence that included his first-degree murder conviction of Tyler Kaiser. Lacey added that Drake is not beyond rehabilitation. The Crown disagreed, countering with a recommendation of 20 to 23 years, arguing that Drake's criminal record speaks volumes and that he is the epitome of a threat to public safety.
We tried to impress upon this court, and did so, that Mr. Drake is a dangerous man. He walks in the community and causes grave threat to our society, and that's demonstrated by his criminal history.
One victim impact statement was read on behalf of Pat Stay's sister. Adam Drake and his lawyer both appeared by video conference today. Drake did not address the court during the proceedings. His lawyer, Michael Lacey, says his client maintains his innocence in the death of Pat Stay. Adam Drake's appeal of his conviction of the death of Tyler Kaiser is set to be heard next spring. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Halifax.
2 men are facing charges connected to a fatal home invasion in New Brunswick last winter. In February, RCMP responded to a home invasion in Barry Mills where 3 individuals forced their way inside a home. There was an altercation and 1 man died at the scene. Yesterday, the Mounties arrested 2 men in Fredericton and charged them with manslaughter, armed robbery, unauthorized possession of a firearm, and forcible confinement. Police in Fredericton have confirmed the death of a woman found in the water near the Westmoreland Street Bridge. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene yesterday, and an autopsy is underway to determine the cause of death. Police say there is no evidence of foul play, and they are continuing to investigate. They are asking the public for any information that can assist with the investigation. Meanwhile, in Halifax, police are investigating a shooting that occurred late last night. Police say a 21-year-old man was shot in the Hanover Street and Veith Street area just off north end of Barrington. The man was rushed to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they do not believe the shooting was random and that there is no threat to the general public. No arrests have been made at this time. We have an update tonight on what's going on with millions of dollars worth of American alcohol pulled from liquor store shelves in New Brunswick due to tensions with the United States. NB Liquor is now hoping to sell it all. CTV's Derek Haggett reports.
It was a busy Friday afternoon at the NB Liquor Depot in Salisbury today. Shoppers can purchase American alcohol here months after it was pulled from store shelves. Liquor boards around the country decided to yank U.S. products after threats of tariffs and annexation from Donald Trump.
We had about close to $700,000 in sales, top-line sales, over the last few weeks.
MB Liquor says close to $5 million in inventory was originally brought here in March. Now there's a little more than $3 million left. The booze isn't on sale, it's just being made available for those in search of a personal favorite. There's been a sentiment change with many customers, and MB Liquor says the demand for American alcohol at corporate stores really isn't there.
So when we originally pulled the product back in the spring, you know, what we were hearing from stores anecdotally was more the other way. It's good that you're pulling the product. What else can I buy? What are alternatives?
Patriotism, for the most part, keeping some people here from buying U.S.
Because of tariffs and Trump, and I'd sooner buy Canadian. Anything Canadian, I'd sooner buy.
Well, there's a few things that I have to buy American, but stay away from as much as I can, yeah.
Many of the shoppers I spoke with here today are avoiding American products, but some people are willing to make an exception.
Just that one. I don't mind the fact that there's no American wines, but I do like bourbon and I kind of miss it.
The majority of American products have a long shelf date, but MB Liquor wants to liquidate the inventory as soon as they can. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Salisbury, New Brunswick.
There's a live look at Burnt Coat Head Park on the Minas Basin where it is 13 degrees right now. Beautiful sky there. Let's get our first look at the forecast tonight. And for that, we go to CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin, how are things shaping up for tonight?
Yeah, that's a very nice view, isn't it? There's a couple spotty showers around this evening for the Maritime, so those are winding down. They'll be coming to an end this evening. While we're on the topic, though, of some rain and some showers, I did want to bring you an update on how much precipitation we have seen at select weather stations in the Maritimes so far for the month of October. So this includes the couple of rain events we had this past week, which did help to bring these numbers up a little bit. But you can see, despite that, despite getting two of those events in a row, even though they had some downpours and a few thunderstorms, most of the Maritimes still remains well shy of the monthly average of total rain for October. And we're coming up close to the end of this month. Now, there's a couple scattered showers in the forecast for the weekend, but higher chances of some more widespread rain and showers coming up early next week. That being said, I still expect that there will be a good portion of the Maritimes that finishes below average for the month of October. And we know we're looking for above average amounts of rain as we continue to go through the fall. As we take a look at current temperatures around for the Maritimes this evening, most of the temperatures are around the low to mid-teens. It is going to become cool to brisk tonight with a lot of low temperatures headed down towards the mid to high single digits. Over on radar and satellite, a few of those showers that I mentioned, well, a couple of them around the Annapolis Valley. Again, those are going to be coming to an end. For the remainder of the night, it's going to turn partly cloudy as we head towards midnight, a little bit in the way of some fog patches developing. So a cloud outlook here. You can see a little bit of cloud cover increasing from the west, moving late this evening towards midnight, especially for the province of New Brunswick. Might not be as ideal for night sky viewing as last night, but it should still be pretty good for good portions of the Maritimes and certainly through the first part of tonight. Waxing crescent moon, that'll be setting in the southwest just after sunset, so we won't see much of that. The planet Saturn is easy to spot above the southeast, though, this evening, and the comet Lemon may still be visible with binoculars or good photography equipment over the western horizon just after sunset. I do have a picture of that comet to share with you coming up at the end of the program. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin, and we'll see you for the full forecast in about 15 minutes. It's been more than 2 months since the peak of the summer drought, but even now in late October, there are still some Maritimers with low well levels. CTV's Ryan McDonald spoke with one Cape Breton homeowner who feels more should be done to help before winter comes.
It's covered in fall leaves, but unlike the days of the peak summer drought, the well behind Clayton Osmond's house is dry now, and it has been for a while.
We're dry 2 weeks now. I know of other residents that have been dry from June and onward.
From his home on the Morley Road, about 20 minutes outside of Sydney, Osmond says it would take a lot of time and travel to head into town to pick up water being provided by the Cape Breton Regional Municipality to residents who are experiencing dry well conditions.
About a good hour, and then the fill time as well, and then transfer time. So it's about a 3-hour process right now.
Well, a big part of the water supply that we're providing is that it's actually on municipal water systems. Those exist in more high-density areas.
The CBRM says, according to information from their 311 service, about 150 people in the municipality are currently experiencing well drought or dryness. Spokesperson Christina Lamy says the mayor and city staff have been meeting regularly with provincial officials since the drought started about different ways to support people.
There's a provincial program that might assist with people qualifying people to have some financial assistance in having a dug well drilled. We generally find that that's been a significant source of the people who are having an issue. The concept of having a dug well versus a drilled well has been a key indicator.
For now, Osmond has rigged up a system of his own, hooking up water from these 1,000-liter tanks in his yard into his home piping. But he says not everyone impacted by drought has something like this, and he's concerned how he and others might cope come the winter freeze.
I'll be running on this jug here. My concern is if this freezes outside, I'll have no running water again, and then I'm back to the 3- and 4-hour trips just to shower and do laundry.
Lamy says people should reach out to their MLA to find out more about any provincial supports that might be available. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Portage, Nova Scotia.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Ontario is promising it can get New Brunswick's Point Lepreau nuclear power plant back up and operating more consistently. The two provinces have signed an agreement to work together for 3 years. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
Right now, Point Lepreau Nuclear Generating Station has been offline since July, undergoing upgrades, and that's costing MB Power $1 to $1.5 million a day. When it's running smoothly, the plant can power 30 to 40% of the province's energy needs. But the last few years have not been smooth. So New Brunswick is banking on Ontario for help.
But in Ontario, we're doing something different than no nation on earth can say. Not the French or the Brits. We are building on time and we are building on budget.
That is refurbishments at most of their 18 reactors. Last year, Point Lepreau was only operating 27% of the time. So the two provinces are signing a $25 million a year agreement for 3 years to see if Ontario Power Generation's nuclear expertise can get Point Lepreau operating at 90%.
Do you feel confident that you and your government and I guess the technology that you have will get New Brunswick to where you are?
I'm confident that there's a strong commitment by the management team and by the government of New Brunswick to improve. And I think that's what we need. We need that realization that we can do it better.
We need to get to a schedule of planned outages where we're doing them every other year, not every year. And that would
the New Brunswick government says despite Point Lepreau's issues, it's not ruling out a Point Lepreau expansion, like adding a small modular reactor.
We do have future expansion plans on nuclear. Again, we believe that one of the biggest assets that we have right now is Point Lepreau as a nuclear-ready site for expansion. It's one of the only sites in North America.
The official agreement doesn't begin until April 1st and will carry through until 2029. And as you heard, MB Power is hoping by that time they have a more consistent Point Lepreau with the help of Ontario. Stephanie.
Thanks, Laura. CTV's Laura Brown reporting from our Fredericton newsroom. And a reminder, for more on this or any of our stories, you can visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Friends and family are remembering a long-serving former New Brunswick MLA who passed away. Sheldon Lee was first elected to the New Brunswick legislature in 1978 and represented the riding of Charlotte until he retired in 2003. He served as the transportation minister in Frank McKenna's government for about 12 years. Lee was also an active member of his community in the St. George area. In his obituary, Lee is described as devoting his life to a life of service. Sheldon Lee died in Quispamsis on Tuesday. He was 92. If you've driven through Halifax lately, you've likely spent some time stuck in traffic as construction and the volume of drivers are leading to gridlock. Halifax Mayor Andy Fillmore says he is working with staff and council to address it and keep up with an election campaign promise of doing more road work at night. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
Traffic was crawling along Oxford Street near Jubilee this morning, a key commuter route from north to south of Halifax. Some drivers say they've learned to plan their routes around construction and the time of day, but sometimes you just get stuck.
I mean, I always try to put my morning appointments always earlier in the daytime because it's even worse in the afternoon commute. But I would think it would always make more sense to have construction done at night than in the middle of the day anytime.
Mayor Andy Fillmore vows to tackle traffic congestion. He campaigned on a promise to explore nighttime road construction to ease daytime gridlock.
In my work, I hear from people every single day about the nature of congestion and how bad it's getting. And I think it's important that at City Hall we do whatever we can to bring congestion down.
There's been no report brought forward or formal talks with city planners or council about exploring night construction, but Fillmore believes the solution is in the tendering process. City Hall needs to make it clear in construction tenders that the work needs to be done after business hours.
My belief is that we should be proactive about that actually in the request for proposals for our road work, we should require that work be done in the evenings and weekends, especially at least on key corridors. And that's where I'd like to go.
But there has to be a balance. The construction crew says, do you want this kind of noise in your neighborhood at night?
In HRM right now, that traffic, particularly in the urban core, it has reached a crisis point. We need to do something differently.
Fillmore says we can't go through another summer of gridlock like we did this year, but reiterates night construction is only part of the solution to easing traffic congestion. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
This is the topic of our web poll tonight. We are asking, do you think more road construction should be done overnight? The options are simple, yes or no. The poll can be found at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. And speaking of traffic around Halifax, anyone with plans this weekend should expect delays as the McKay Bridge will be closed once again. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, it's the 6th closure this year, and officials hope it will be the last.
Traffic throughout the city is already picking up in what's anticipated to be an eventful weekend.
I guess I'm going to watch the Jays games with some buddies and try to get the Jays a W. So
from Blue Jays watch parties to a Foreigner concert at Scotiabank Centre to the Mooseheads, officials say you may want to plan ahead. The McKay Bridge will be out of commission for the entire weekend.
The bridge is closing because there's work we just can't do at night and on weekends. It requires a much longer term. In this case, we're taking a cable inspection unit off the cables, and it requires cranes to come in. So there's 4 or 5 cranes. So we can't just close 2 lanes because of the safety issue.
It's the 6th time this year the McKay Bridge has closed. The anticipated traffic disruptions has some wondering if the city should consider building a 3rd bridge.
I think it's going to be absolutely necessary. I'm just wondering why we're not getting on with it sooner.
I think it's so busy in Halifax now with all the people. It'd be nice to have another bridge for sure.
From what I've seen, we do need a 3rd bridge, or we need to replace one of those bridges with a bigger bridge, or something. Something's wrong, and something needs to be fixed.
Of course, the McDonald Bridge will be open. Proctor says this will be the last closure for the McKay this year, and that for this weekend, a plan is in place for those who need to get around.
We've done a partnership with Halifax Transit to allow for anybody to get on the ferries free from 8 a.m. Friday till close of business on Sunday. And so our hope is that people will think about taking their trips a little bit differently, enjoying the ferry and lessening the congestion that will be on the roads inevitably.
And of course, there will be tons of pedestrian traffic, so it's important to be extra safe. The McKay Bridge will reopen early Monday morning. Stephanie.
Vanessa, CTV's Vanessa Wright reporting live tonight in Halifax. We'll take a short break now. Still to come, cool October temperatures with a chance of showers this weekend. Kalen returns with his full forecast. And later we'll head to Toronto for a preview of Game 1 of the World Series. But next, trouble in the workplace.
And when all those agreements are coming to an end, that's when there is this opportunity for labor unrest.
From Canada Post to university faculty strikes, what's fueling the latest labor unrest? We'll look at that next. In what's becoming a defining feature of Canada's economy, labor disruptions are rippling across multiple sectors, from Air Canada's flight attendants to strikes now hitting universities in Halifax. CTV's Hafsa Arif reports on what's driving this wave of unrest.
Outside St. Mary's University, a picket line forms, and across town, Mount St. Vincent University's part-time faculty have also walked off the job.
I think workers are really struggling, and that's what you're saying is a bit of an uprising of people who are just fed up. Their pay isn't keeping pace with inflation.
It's not just universities. In this last year alone, the province has seen Canada Post workers on strike, a walkout by Cape Breton trades workers, and the recent Air Canada strike that grounded flights across the country.
There is this lagging holdover of work from home. Secondly, there is the corrosive effect of inflation.
Experts argue the cost of living crisis is colliding with a bargaining cycle where hundreds of collective agreements are expiring at once.
So far this year, about 51 or 52 collective agreements have expired. And when all those agreements are coming to an end, that's when there is this opportunity for labor unrest.
In Nova Scotia, it's believed the frustrations are from limited benefits and stability, which Kavanagh argues is due to outdated labor laws.
Our labor standards, as an example, in this province, haven't been updated for like 45 years.
With 2 Halifax universities already on strike, experts say this may not be the end of Canada's labor unrest, rather a sign of what's still to come. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Still to come, Katie chats with Canadian rock band 5440, who are on tour in the Maritimes. But next, looks like we'll have a chance to close out the month with some wet weather. Kaylin will have all those details and the weekend forecast next. Pleasant conditions for a walk on the trails in Chester, Nova Scotia today. Still some of those fall leaves hanging on to those trees as well. Will we have some pleasant conditions this weekend for walks along trails? I know there's also lots of fall and Halloween activities taking place outdoors, so.
It's not a bad weekend forecast for the Maritimes. A couple isolated showers tomorrow. Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, increasing cloudiness on Sunday. Temperatures cooler than they have been for much of this week, but nothing unusual for late October. We'll get back to our forecast of the Maritimes in a moment. I do want to start, though, with an update on Tropical Storm Melissa. And Melissa is on the verge of becoming a hurricane. Maximum sustained winds are now near 100 kilometers per hour. Once those winds reach 120 kilometers per hour, it'll be a Category 1 hurricane, and it is forecast to strengthen from there. In fact, as we take a look at the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, it may still become a major Category 3 and then Category 4 hurricane as it moves first slowly towards the west, just initially to the south of Jamaica, and now looking increasingly likely that once it makes a northern turn, that'll make it a landfall in Jamaica early next week. One of the more dangerous aspects of this storm system, besides the intensity that it could reach, is the slow movement. Think about that. At the start of the weekend, it's approaching Jamaica, but may take through next week for it to cross that country and head up towards Cuba. That means there is a higher potential for a longer duration torrential rainfall, not only for Jamaica, but also eastern areas of Haiti. And you can see those colors shaded in the maps, especially as we get into some of the purples and then eventually into the darker blacks as well as the blues. That is the risk of seeing some rainfall totals all the way through the middle part of next week that in some cases could be in excess of 400, 500, or 600 millimeters of rain, not only for parts of Jamaica, but also for eastern areas of Haiti. And that really increases the risk of the threat of flash flooding as well as landslides. So that's one of the more hazardous aspects with this storm system. Taking a look at weather conditions across the country, there is some rain in through PC, though it's beginning to lighten up a little bit. Vancouver and Victoria right now sitting at 12 degrees. Through the prairies, a lot of temperatures through southern areas of Alberta and Saskatchewan, mid-teens right now. Winnipeg seeing some sunshine and 11 degrees. In Ontario, Toronto, a lot of people getting out and heading towards the Jays game. It's pretty pleasant, mixed sun and cloud. Temperatures around 10. Montreal sitting at 9 degrees right now. The Maritimes, we've got 11 at Fredericton, 13 at Halifax and Charlottetown, and 17 degrees in St. John's in Newfoundland. Taking a look at our timeline for cloud cover and precipitation. Tonight, becoming partly cloudy. Fog patches developing. In the forecast for tomorrow, we're going to have a mix of sun and cloud and with a chance of some showers. And the highest chance of showers Saturday afternoon will be in the province of Nova Scotia as well as Prince Edward Island. Though again, the coverage of those showers is still expected to be fairly widely scattered. So for any given community, it's about a 20 to 30% chance. Taking a look at lows in the forecast for tonight, they'll be falling into a range of around 0 to 6 degrees for most of New Brunswick, 6 to 8 degrees for many areas of Prince Edward Island. Most lows for Nova Scotia tonight between 4 and 9, though a few areas in the east between 9 and 11 degrees. Highs for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick and the northwest between 8 and 10, and the northeast between 10 and 13, 13 at Miramichi. Down through central and southern areas, New Brunswick for tomorrow, high temperatures between 10 and 14 degrees. Prince Edward Island, your high temperatures on Saturday between 11 and 13. For eastern areas of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton, most of the highs will be in the low to mid-teens, so a range of 12 to 15 degrees. 14 for Amherst for tomorrow and for Truro. City centers Halifax and Dartmouth, highs closer to 15. Same thing goes for Chester and Lunenburg, as well as Liverpool and Shelburne heading down the South Shore. Near 13 tomorrow for Yarmouth and Barrington. In the Annapolis Valley, Kentville, Wolfville, Middleton area, highs near 14. 13 at Digby. Let's take a look at the extended forecast. This is going to take us, of course, towards Halloween next Friday. Got some things to watch out for early next week. For New Brunswick, looks like it's mostly going to be cloudy periods, cooler conditions Monday and Tuesday, but a chance of showers on Wednesday, and then rain possible on Thursday of next week. We want that rain to come in on Thursday, because if that system gets hung up a little bit, some of that wet weather could hold over into Friday, which of course is Halloween. That's why I've got a chance of showers in that Friday forecast right now. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, showers coming up on Monday. Looks like it'd be fairly widespread for the province. Chance of showers after that on Tuesday. Possibility of rain around midweek next week. Again, we want it to come through during the middle part of the week, because if it holds off until Friday, then we'll be dealing with wet weather while we were out trick-or-treating. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, coming up on both Saturday and Sunday, about a 30% chance of a shower. Cloudy periods for the start of next week. A mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. Temperatures remain cooler through the end of next week, including towards Halloween. And right now, still with a chance of showers on Friday. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin, and we'll check in with you again for the wake-up weather. Next, we'll head to Toronto as the Jays prepare to host Game 1 of the World Series and check in with some Maritime fans who made the 17-hour journey. We also have this story.
Hey, it's Katie Kelly in Halifax. Coming up on the scene, I'm going to be talking to 5440 who are performing here at the Scotiabank Centre in Halifax tonight, warming up the stage for Foreigner. Stay tuned.
Okay, so happy weekend, and remember, coming back Monday morning, 7 a.m., get those keywords from Virgin Radio's 5K a day and the chance to win $5,000.
And each day next week around 7:30, join us for your chance to win a gas card.
Baseball fever is heating up right across Canada as the Toronto Blue Jays get set to host the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight in Game 1 of the World Series. CTV's Kamal Karamali joins us from in front of the Rogers Centre in downtown Toronto, just hours away from the first pitch. Thanks for speaking with us tonight, Kamal.
Yeah, right. When and where will this air? Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, it is an electric atmosphere here. We will see the World Series on Canadian soil for the first time in 32 years, and the fans here are amped up to see the Blue Jays take to the field in just a few hours' time now. People have been mulling about here for hours and hours since around 8 a.m. this morning. We saw people lined up to get into the Jays shop to buy that World Series merch, and that line behind me has just grown longer and longer, and now people for the past couple of hours have been waiting to get inside to watch those both teams warm up as well. There's been bands playing, there's been people who don't have tickets but had just come to take in the atmosphere. So it really is feeling like this electric atmosphere here as we get ready for Game 1. We know Trey Savage is going to take to the mound. He is a right-handed rookie who started off in the minors, believe it or not. What a Cinderella story, making it to the big leagues and starting in September for the Jays, and now starting in Game 1 for the World Series. We also know know, star shortstop Bo Bichette is also going to be playing tonight. This is great news. He's been injured since early September, and so some good news, amping up fans even more, Stephanie.
And I know Canadians are in Toronto now from, you know, across the country, including the Maritimes.
Baseball tickets.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've seen so many people here from Halifax. Literally spoke to 2 people who were waiting in line who had just gotten off their flights and went straight to Rogers Centre with their carry-on still in their hand. They had flown in from Halifax. So many people taking the flight in from the Maritimes, but I'm going to introduce you to a couple of guys who actually drove from Nova Scotia as well. Not only that, Stephanie, they drove 17 hours and they don't even have tickets to the game. So just tell me about the journey here. What was the thought in coming here without tickets in hand, and what's the hope here?
Yeah, so we just have decided last minute we want to come and experience the atmosphere. It's been such a long time since they made it to the World Series, and we want to come out. So we drove 17 hours through the night, and now we're here. We don't have tickets yet, but we're doing everything we can to try to get tickets and get into that game.
And what's the game plan here? Are you hoping to pay an arm and a leg, or just hope that someone's nice enough to give you cheaper tickets?
Yeah, tickets. The cheapest tickets right now are $900. We're students, so we're trying to mull around a little bit, see if we can get any connections here to get cheap tickets. Otherwise, we'll probably go to a local sports bar, soak in the atmosphere. After we saw that Springer home run the other night, we watched it from home. We said we're coming. Next day, we packed up our bags at 7:30 at night, drove overnight, and now we're here. So
and where in Nova Scotia are you guys from?
We're from Antigonish, Nova Scotia, St. FX University. Go X, baby.
All right, a lot of pride there, and we'll hope you guys get tickets. Can I get a Go Jays before you guys sign off?
Go Jays, go! Woo!
There you go. That's one example of people coming from all over the Maritimes, but we spoke to people from Alberta, from BC, from the U.S., Stephanie. They're coming from all over because who knows when this will happen again.
And Kamal, just before we let you go, you know, we've heard that talk about ticket prices. We know they are very expensive, and we're seeing some gouging going on as well. What can you tell us about that?
Go Blue Jays.
Yeah. Yeah, so we know that at the very least, it is about $1,200 to get in on general admission. General admission doesn't get you a seat. It just gets you into the building. You're allowed to roam the halls, but you won't get a seat. We're seeing seats go for about, in the nosebleeds, about $3,000 or so. But for the lower bowl, you will have to pay, in some cases, over $10,000. Behind home plate, it was around $20,000 to $25,000. We know that the Doug Ford government says they're looking at legislation to put a cap on how much tickets can be resold for, but it is that same government that scrapped legislation in 2018-2019 that capped ticket prices at resale at 50%. So there is a lot of criticism of the resale practices currently. We'll have to see how that shapes out when it comes to what's happening at Queen's Park here.
And just quickly, I know obviously lots of Jays fans there. Have you come across any Dodgers fans yet?
Yeah, plenty of Dodgers fans, and you know what? Many of them were actually Canadian. So one was from Vancouver, one was from Ontario. So there are fans here, and there are also Shohei Ohtani fans. I mean, this is a generational two-way player who can pitch really well, knock him out of the park really well as well. So, you know, you may not see a talent like that again in your lifetime live as well. So there are some fans who are just here to see the Dodgers or Shohei Ohtani as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time, Kamal.
Anytime.
CTV's Kamal Karmali from the Rogers Centre in downtown Toronto. We'll take a short break now. Plenty more to come just ahead. That heat puts a strain on the heart, kidneys, and other organs, but those risks are exacerbated for pregnant people as the body's processes for staying cool are altered. CTV's Callum Smith has more.
It's a problem that climate change is worsening as intensifying extreme heat events High temperatures into the night and shattering weather records means more exposure for pregnant women, particularly in developing countries. As pregnancy progresses, the body burns more calories, creating internal heat. The heart has to work harder, which can already be strained by extreme heat. And pregnant women also need more liquid to stay hydrated, so they might get dehydrated more easily, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Scientists say that women should be educated on their risk and be vigilant about their exposure, not just for their own health, but for their babies too. A tiny microchip is helping people living with a rare eye disease see again. The disease is called geographical atrophy, and it affects about 5 million people around the world. The disease causes a slow deterioration of the small oval-shaped area in the center of the retina. It is responsible for central vision, which allows us to see colors and find details clearly. It's now being treated experimentally by researchers who insert a microchip into the retina, which projects an enlarged image into a pair of augmented reality glasses. Scientists say 80% of trial participants had some of their sight restored. Finally, some Toronto Blue Jays fans say they've noticed a mental health boost ever since their team clinched a spot in the World Series. A registered psychologist in BC says research shows being immersed in a sports community can actually improve a person's sense of well-being. A study of football fans in Italy published earlier this year found a positive association between fandom and subjective well-being, driven by the fostering of a social identity with fellow fans. It adds to numerous studies that have examined whether being a sports fan is good or bad for your health. That includes a 2017 study that found the heart rate of Montreal Canadiens fans more than doubled during live games, equivalent to vigorous physical stress. With health and medical news, I'm Callum Smith for The Lifeline.
On the scene tonight, they are one of Canada's most iconic rock bands, and tonight 5440 is sharing the stage with legendary rockers Foreigner at the Scotiabank Centre. CTV's Katie Kelly is on the scene with more on the big night for Halifax music fans.
5440, welcome back to the Maritime.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Beautiful day.
Oh, it is. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So you've been already, you were in St. John's and Sydney. How did those shows go?
Excellent. Really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's been fun being out on the road with Foreigner?
Yeah. Yes. Why wouldn't it be?
Okay. So you're no stranger to the Maritimes. I know you were at the Jube last year. What do you like about coming out to the East Coast?
People are great singers. They're a lot of fun. They join in. And I used to live here back in the day.
You did? In Halifax?
Dartmouth, actually. A little bit better.
Ooh.
Yeah.
True. Oh, awesome. When was that?
I'm not going to tell you, but it was last century.
Okay, fair. Well, I know the band has been around for over 40 years.
So there you go.
So that says a little something. But I follow you guys on Instagram, and what I love is that what you've been posting at the end of each show is you guys with the crowd. That photo, that snapshot. It must be so fun to be doing this for this long, and just speak to what it means to you guys to get up there every night and put on these shows and just see that reaction from the crowd.
Well, it's like the 12th man in football, American football, I guess. Yeah. There's 5 of us on stage and 6 of us when you include the crowd. It's a synergy that happens. And
it's a sense of community that we try to create, and it's been working.
It's been fun. Hell of a lot of fun. Yeah.
So I mentioned, over 40 years, and you're still killing it. You're still doing amazing shows and making amazing music. So I listened to your first 3 singles from your upcoming album coming out early next year. Tell me a little bit about this record.
Did you like it?
I loved it. And Mike, did you like it? Cameraman Mike?
Like it?
Yeah, he liked it too.
Right? Right, Mike? Yeah.
It does.
There you go.
It was recorded in Portugal. 3 weeks in Portugal. We loved making it. We worked with Warren Livesey, who's a fantastic producer. And it's a rough-sounding rock and roll riff rock record.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Can't top that.
Can't top that. So that's January of next year. You can expect more new music from.
However,
go on.
Well, we do have copies for sale tonight.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. The vinyls. Unusually, the vinyl's never ready before the streaming But this time it is. We have vinyl with us, yeah.
Okay.
I should have brought it for this. Could have held it up and all that.
That would have been a good idea.
It would have.
Dumb Neil.
We'll know that.
Boom.
We'll know that for next time. And finally, what can people expect here in Halifax tonight?
A lot of fun. Yeah. We're going to play one new song from our new record, and the rest will be Uber hits. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us back here in Halifax. You're in Halifax tonight, and there's still a chance to see these guys in Moncton tomorrow.
There's that.
There is. So tell fans to get on out and see you.
Yeah, come out and see us.
Get out and see us. Yeah.
5440.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Pleasure.
I'll see you next time. Don't be strangers to the Maritimes, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Katie. As we head to break, here's a look at tonight's primetime lineup.
With Crash and Sarah Betts.
Hey, we're officially 1 week from Halloween.
All things ghoulish and scary coming up next week, including some local ghost stories from an insider.
Go Jays!
On the markets, the Dow ended the day up 472 points. Canada's largest airline is laying off workers. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more on that.
Air Canada is cutting about 1% of its workforce. About 400 management jobs will be lost. The airline shared the news on the same day it announced it'll start running direct flights to the U.S. from Toronto's Island Airport. Travelers will be able to fly directly to New York, Boston, Chicago, and Washington starting March of 2026. Ottawa is taking aim at Stellantis and General Motors, cutting the number of vehicles the automakers can send tariff-free from the U.S. to Canada. The move in response to both companies announcing production changes leading to job losses in Ontario. U.S. inflation picked up in September, coming in at 3%, but that was less than expected. The report was delayed because of the U.S. government shutdown. It was supposed to be released more than a week ago. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.44. West Texas Intermediate crude is down to 61.50. Western Canadian Select is up close to $3 today to 48.99. And the TSX gained 166 points today, ending the week at 30,353. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Time for one final look at the forecast. Let's go to Kaylin on the weather deck.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. And earlier I mentioned that I'd have a picture of that comet that has been viewable with binoculars or other lenses after sunset above the western horizon here in the Maritimes when we've had sky conditions cooperating, that is. And so here's a look at it. This picture was sent in by Barry Burgess. It was taken in Shelburne County, Nova Scotia. The best time to catch it is directly after sunset because the comet is sort of setting towards the horizon itself. So as you go through the evening, it will eventually fade and then disappear. Shelburne for tomorrow, mixed sun and cloud, high temperature near 15 degrees. Day planner for tomorrow across the Maritime region. We do start off with some partly cloudy conditions as well as some fog patches. Low chance of some spotty showers around the west of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island northern areas of Nova Scotia. Saturday afternoon, mostly a mix of sun and cloud and some spotty showers expected around PEI and Nova Scotia. Winds will be light and out of the northwest. Stephanie.
Thanks for this, Kaylin. Finally for us tonight, meet the Maritime's latest millionaires. Tilly Vanden Bosch of Fredericton won $1.6 million on 649. Tilly shared the $5 million jackpot on the October 8th draw with two other winners, both from Ontario. She says she plans to pay off debt, travel with her husband, and purchase a new car for herself and her son. Congratulations. And that will do it for us tonight. I'll be back with our next newscast at 11:30. But for local news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. We leave you now tonight flying above Little Narrows, Cape Breton, along with the shows each night. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast.